Dr. Bart Rademaker, and this is Prescription for Your Transformation: Real People, Real Conversations, and Real Success. Bringing to you enlightened conversations with incredible people around the planet like Kameka Smith. And this is part two of a wonderful deep dive in finding your freedom, getting unstuck, and optimizing your peak performance. So, Kameka, thank you so much for joining us today. And today we're going to talk about your strategies in helping people, to get to peak performance. But before we get started, you've got an incredible journey yourself, and love to hear and have you share with us from what two different worlds you come from.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. So, my journey has been quite interesting. There's been lots of twists and turns. So, my background is in technology, and it's interesting you asked that because this week I was posed with a question about desire and thinking about what did you want to be as a child, and are you fulfilling that now? And so, thinking back as a child, I wanted to be either a neurosurgeon or a cardiovascular surgeon. And when I went to throughout high school, the beginning of college, that was still what I wanted to do. But then I started the path of medical technology. And I decided, well, if I do this, then I'm not going to want to, I don't want to, I'm a people person. I don't want to sit in the lab all day. And I didn't want to do biology only because then the next step will be to teach. And at the time, I couldn't afford to go straight to medical school because I needed to work. And so I went with my other passion for computers because I started learning that I've been passionate about that since I was 12. And that's been, I've been working in corporate, in technology, putting together large transformational programs across business and technology. And that was what I did. And then I started thinking about in my agile coaching in a technical environment, I started recognizing that, okay, there may be something else there, that another purpose that I'm not fulfilling. And then my mom passed away in 2018. And I had my aha moment when we had our memorial and people started coming up to me about all of the work that she's did and how she's changed their lives. And immediately I felt like I had the charge to carry it on. And so that's how I got into, okay, maybe I should take my coaching to another much more personal approach. And I started doing NLP. And in my NLP class, it was absolutely transformational. And I had a conflict that I actually, in a what is called a parts integration that my instructor did with me, is where I realized my true purpose that I needed to fulfill, my gift that I had was to transform people's lives. And my struggle was, do I stick with technology, which is my love and passion, or do I go down this path of really transforming people's life? And then since then, I continued on to doing performance coaching and then went straight into hypnotherapy. So that's been my journey.
It's brilliant, and I'm so glad you didn't become that surgeon, because the gift that you have is tremendous, and I feel that you can transform so many more people that way. But if I may, share an insight that I have, and I can relate totally to you, in that intuitively you probably thought, I want to help people, and that's why you picked a cardiac surgeon.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it's because you want results now. And what
Yeah.
do? You go into technology, you get results now, and now you got your RTT, you got results now, and you transform them in one session. And you know
Yeah.
what? That's been my thinking all along too, because I'm a plastic surgeon, I'm businesslike, I want to get things done, and I want to transform. So you and I have pretty much came to the same conclusion in different ways,
Yeah.
helping people. And that's why I love coaching as well, because the impact is so much more than one person. So I love what you're doing, and I love the fact, because I met you through Clubhouse, and I don't know if you heard me say this during the last one, but what I love is that there are so many non-medical, I should rephrase that, non-doctors leading the way in optimizing our lives and biohacking our lives, and reaching the optimum wellness and health and mindset and everything else. And it's really cool that the rest of the world has figured this out. Doctors are being left behind, sadly. And I'm working on that, by the way, to help doctors figure out how to stay relevant. But it's impressive that someone like you, and I want to preface it by saying this. What I think is so important, what you do, what I don't think people really quite understand, you come from two different worlds in a sense. You come from the technology, and now you come from this personal mindset, brain intelligence, as I like to put it. And because you come from very different dimensions, you're able to navigate that world so well when most people are just in one dimension. So I applaud you from having the courage to follow your heart. And at some point, I'd like to hear what your mom was doing. But let's just jump into peak performance. And how is it
Absolutely.
that your unique skill helps people find that?
So peak performance has been my life, right? I have a 24-hour flexible schedule. In that I plan my sleep time. Of course, I'll adjust it as needed, but being able to literally just get stuff done. And it's one of the things that was really helpful, especially in the technology space. When you're working in a technology space, things are moving fast. You need to adapt, change, move, make decisions. How do you get all that stuff done? How do you create that balance? And so for me personally, with everything that I do with technology and learning 6 languages, being able to be effective at work and be able to drive major transformations with huge teams, being able to have a personal life. My son has 10 activities that he did before COVID. Being able to create that harmonious, and I would use balance, but some people have an issue with the word balance because it may not be balance, but what is that balance for you? Creating that harmony for you to where you're being present where you need to be in your business, you're being present at home, you're having a social life, but you're also doing everything at 120%.
I love what you said about balance, and I think and you're tapping into the brain intelligence, and you're helping us understand that intelligence better. And it's sort of like when we tell ourselves certain things incorrectly, then that's also when we get stuck, because the word harmony very well characterizes the kind of state that we want to be, but we're never always in balance. I mean, just look at somebody who's walking a tightrope. Are they always in balance? No, they're always one way or the other way.
Right.
So right, but harmoniously they get to cross the tightrope. Um, so that process of helping people find that peak performance. I mean, what do you find works the best? Because once again, I mean, there's so many incredible people out there with all their different ideas. What's that strategy that you find that works best with people when you're coaching them to find that peak performance?
So the first thing I would approach is the mindset around overwhelm.
Mhm.
A lot of times where people looking to create that harmony with their peak performance is, I'm overwhelmed. I've got so much to do. I don't know where to start. This is just too much. Reframing that to, I get to do this. I love what I do. I'm serving people. I'm providing value. And I get to do this now as opposed to waiting. And that's the first thing to address, because when you shift that overwhelming feeling to excitement and being present in a moment, that brings a state of calm to where you're not on a hamster wheel running around,
Right.
but you're being strategic in being able to be productive, but not feel it also takes away that guilt of feeling that I have to be spending all of my time on one thing or the other, but shifting to how do I work smarter?
So so interesting enough, this morning I made a frame shift and reframed, my situation because I was suddenly feeling overwhelmed as well. And so my question for you is, when time is the factor, right? How do you support people? And what I told myself is, okay, well, yeah. I'm just not going to be able to do this right now. So then suddenly that overwhelm kind of went away. Do you have a particular strategy when it comes to time as well? Because clearly the reframe to, yeah, I get to do this, great. But when you have a lot of things that you really want to do and you don't have enough time for it, what do you do then?
Well, so what I do, this is where I bring in my skill from a technology perspective and agile coaching in terms of I literally will sit down, okay, this is what I'm feeling right now. It's getting to where it's getting a little overwhelmed. What do I need to do? And I go through and do a quick list of what do I need to do, prioritize it, what needs to be done when. And then I start finding a time on my calendar to time box
Mhm.
it to I need to get this done. I only have 15 minutes. And then if it's start looking at that list and saying, what can I outsource
Mhm.
to help me with processing that? And there are some times that, yes, there's some things I will have to make the decision and the call. I can't get to this right now. And I will need to negotiate with that person. Is there another way for us to be able to do it and accept that and being okay with, I can't do everything.
You're so right because, I think sometimes we have this temptation that, yeah, we can do it all in our head. We can kind of manage and juggle everything, and that's just not possible. And, our minds get confused, it gets overwhelmed, and then we start dropping things. And then we have too much time focusing on trying to remember all the stuff. At least that's what happens to me. But as soon as I write it down, like you said, and I have my block times, because you know what? I learned this, and it's all about how you frame things. And I love what you said earlier. When we start looking at things differently from the perspective that didn't work to one that does work, when you think about it, you've got 168 hours in a day. Elon Musk, Michael Dell, Bill Gates, they don't have any more time than we do. I mean, time is the ultimate equalizer if you think about it. But if you don't plan your day or if you don't plan your life, guess what? Life will plan it for you.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I find interesting, there are lots of concepts about multitasking and the effectiveness.
I'm glad you brought it.
However, what we don't realize is that we're multitasking all the time because while we're doing stuff, our brain is working, our subconscious mind is doing a lot, processing a lot. So being able to be an effective multitasker is what I work to master every single day. When I plan my day in the mornings, and morning routines are very essential. When I
Mhm.
plan my day in the mornings, literally my planner has 4 columns with time slots. And there's one for my son. What does he have going on today? There's one for my business. What do I have going on today? There's one for my personal development and growth, and one for everything else. And what I do with that is looking at it as what can I do, have done at the same time, and being able to create that harmony between all the things I have to do each day. Okay, I need to do personal development. I need to listen to this 20 minutes of podcast or recording. I could do that when my son is in his English class at home. And then at the same time, I could be listening to it while I'm sitting here finishing up this piece on my website or following up with a client from a session. And so being able to find the best way to create that harmony every single hour throughout your day really helps with relief, providing some relief of that overwhelm and being able to figure it out and plot it in. Where do you schedule in these things?
I love that idea of 4 columns. My training program, I talk about fours as well, 4 quadrants. But that's brilliant because you have a visual, you see everything side by side, you see the times, and then you can do all your blocks. I mean, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I love that idea. So here's an interesting question because I think sometimes people feel that, well, I don't have enough time to plan. What do you tell them
If you have no time to plan, you have no time for anything else.
then?
See, there's a method in terms of planning, right? And if you don't know to plan effectively, it doesn't have to be this big ordeal. Like, okay, I'm gonna figure out all this stuff for the rest of the time. What a couple of things that I do. My calendar is my life. My digital calendar. I use my Gmail calendar, and it literally looks like Skittles.
Mhm.
And the reason for that is whenever something comes up, let's say I remember now, oh, I need to have this meeting tomorrow morning. The first thing I do is put it on my calendar and
Uh-huh.
I make it a color that aligns. The red will be the important stuff that I need to be present for and prepare for. The yellows will be my language trainings that I need to do. The greens will be stuff for my son. So being able to color code it that effectively.
You mean something like this, right? Skittles.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And that across 4 columns, yes. And so being able to do that, what it does, where you, as soon as something come up that you need to do, you put it on your calendar. Just find a place, even if it's not the right place. Now, when it comes to planning on a daily basis, that reduces the time when you need to plan because you just need to look at what's currently there. What do I need to adjust and move? Is today the right day? Is today the right time? And so that brings down your planning process to 20 minutes every day or even less. And you could do that while you are listening to your morning meditation or you're drinking your coffee or eating breakfast or having a break throughout the day. So it simplifies the process. And what we fail to recognize when we fail to plan, then uh, then the failure shows up a little bit more because your day becomes so unstructured. You feel like, okay, well, I can't get everything done, and that's where overwhelm kicks in. 'Cause
Yeah, and as you're talking, my phone is blowing up, and things happen, and so ultimately, we have to build in a cushion to be
yeah,
able to take care of stuff, and at the end of the day, I think also not taking ourselves too seriously and having fun because it's like you shared with us in the first session. What is it that you really want? I know our time is up. We have one more after this for sure that we're going to talk about. But how do people find you?
they could find me at, well, my handle on all platforms is Kamekaism. That's a play on P performance. So it's
Hmm.
Kameka and ISM. And so also my website is Eclectic Generation, and they could find me there, information about what I do, peak performance coaching, changing your mindset through rapid transformation therapy, and how to literally get unstuck and find freedom.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for that one. And I am Dr. Bart Rademaker. This is Prescription for Your Transformation, Real People, Real Conversations, and Real Success. And talking to Kameka Smith, Eclectic Generation, and finding ways to transform your lives in a very clever and intelligent way. And find her so that you can do that. She does it through Zoom. It's rapid transformational therapy, getting unstuck from the stuff that you don't even know that are causing you to be stuck. So I'm Bart Rademaker, and we will be back soon with part 3 and talking more with Kameka Smith on RTT.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Dr. Rademaker's Prescription for Your Transformation. Continue the path towards discovering your own authentic genius by tuning in next time for more real conversations with real people.